We got a lot to talk about. We're not going to talk for too long, don't worry. NXT Takeover Toronto and WWE Summerslam results. Well, you guys already seen them, and you already probably know who won every damn thing. So my video is kind of redundant, but this is just my perspective, and I guess it's the interesting part about all of this. First thing I'm going to talk about is NXT Toronto. Overall, the pay-per-view, I liked it. I liked almost all of it. I mean, okay, I got almost every prediction wrong except the last two matches. So it was kind of like, damn, wish I would have got that right. But, no big deal. Excuse me. First match was the tag team match with the Street Profits versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of the Undisputed Era. And I wanted the Undisputed Era to win, but they didn't. It was a good match. The only weird thing for me is that Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly kick out of like every damn thing, especially Kyle O'Reilly. And when they had Roderick Strong with them, oh man, just kicking out, kickity kick, cat bar. Like he was just kicking out of everything, alright? Now they would lose, of course, eventually, but they would take some big ass moves. But in this one, they lost to a frog splash. And I'm not trying to downplay a frog splash. It's an iconic move. It's known to win matches. So when someone hits it and they don't win, for the casual fan, it's like, oh shit, kicked out of a frog splash? You know what I mean? So fair enough, all right? Fair enough. And Street Profits won. That's fine. Who's going to face them next? I don't know. Maybe they'll switch it up, Undisputed Era. Maybe they'll have a different team face them. What if, oh man, this would be crazy. What if Cameron Grimes, I'm just going to say their other names, Trevor Lee and ACH, what if they become a tag team instead of going for the other championships? Like a big twist. And then they beat the Street Profits. Now that'd be crazy. That ain't going to happen, but that'd be crazy. Anyways, solid match. We also had, who was it? Oh, dang it, I can't remember. Oh yeah, Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. That was a good match. It was second, if not the best match of the night. The only reason I would say it was the best match is because it was something new, something we haven't seen before. I think, except the tag match and the triple threat, I think this was this one like really stood out because these two competitors, we hadn't seen them face each other before. You know what I mean? I think it stood out even more because you have Candice LeRae on the rise and we have Io Shirai who just turned heel. So on one hand, you want to be like, oh, Io's gonna win for sure, but Candice can win. Io can get her heat back pretty quickly, but that didn't happen. I'm gonna rewatch this match, and I really liked it. But in the end, Io ended up winning with a submission. Candice was pulled as like her inner Gargano or Johnny Gargano, I guess, and just kept kicking out of everything. But she lost to a submission that we hadn't seen Io do before. The weird thing about this, I don't remember what the hold quite was. It was a different hold, but it's something weird about this, and I'll tell you about it when we get to the next the next women's match. But anyways, triple threat action. Matt Riddle came out and he called out Killian Dane. They had a big brawl or whatever, but Matt Riddle didn't come out on top. Security guards got clapped by Matt Riddle. They got freaking destroyed. And then Matt Riddle and a security guard got knocked on the stage with Killian Dane through a table. It was crazy. So whenever they face each other, it's going to be dope. I just hope it's no disqualification. That's all I want. Then we go into the triple threat match now. Velveteen Dream, Roderick Strong, and Pete Dunne. I really thought this was going to be match of the night. It wasn't, but it was good. I thought it was going to be the best match, though. I really did. I was like, these three against each other? Oh, this is going to be wild. No. It didn't get as crazy as I wanted it to be, but, I mean, it's kind of hard for Velveteen Dream to really, dance when he's got an extra person to deal with, I guess. We've only seen him in the ladder match. Oh, did we see him in a 5-way? I don't think he was in that. I don't think he was in the 5-way. Or maybe he was. It's very rare that you get to see him in multi-man matches. Granted, NXT doesn't have a lot of multi-man matches that often. not as often as a main roster show, relatively speaking. But I don't know. I just felt like Pete Dunne didn't really click as well as he normally does, and Roderick didn't either. But it was still cool. I mean, I enjoyed the stronghold, double stronghold spot. That was cool. I enjoyed the coast to coast elbow. I enjoyed the finish as well, where it seemed like Roderick was gonna win with throwing out Velveteen Dream hitting the end of Heartache, and then Velveteen Dream threw him out of the ring instead and pinned Pete Dunne. So I guess they're going to continue, and I guess Roderick maybe will beat Velveteen next time because he's already pinned him before. So that's a good story to build off of. So I guess in the end, in a means to an end, I guess this was all okay. Now we go into the women's match for the NXT Women's Championship, and the crowd was dead for most of this match. Quite disappointing, in my opinion. I'm not even going to blame it on the competitors, really. I feel like this is just a weird match to book. I think what they should have done, and I know they got the street fight in the main event. I know, calm down. What I think they should have done is no champions advantage, no countouts to disqualifications. So we can really get to see a different side of Mia Yim. You know what I mean? Because she's like, been taking people out back and beating them up backstage or whatever. And then it would have really played into her own element. So it'd be like, she can beat Shayna here. And then Shayna actually ends up winning because, I don't know, maybe the other horsewomen try to come back and get involved, creating a brief distraction. But instead, we did get a code blue. It was a code red, but they called it code blue from the top rope to the floor. Or no, from the middle rope to the floor. So that was cool. And then we had she went for the sleeper hold, but her arm was targeted pretty much the whole matchup, and it was smart of Mia Yim to do that, being very tactical. So I guess that was different. She showed that she was not, necessarily a Neanderthal as Shayna had been portraying her. She understood what she had to do. She stopped the Careful Clutch from being an element in this match, but instead Shayna was like, I got these big legs, I'm gonna use these instead, and choked her out, and Mia had to tap. With Mia Yim tapping, here's the weird thing about that. Where does she go from here? Because she just tapped out. What does she do? All I could think of is like, she could just have won with a different finish, like a new finisher brought that out. But this far into her title reign, I don't think she could have really done that, because then it creates the idea that she might have the championship for even longer. But then again, that would be nice to have the fans be like, she's gonna hold the championship for like a long ass time, and then she loses it like in the next pay-per-view. So that would have been cool if they set it up like that. If Shayna loses the belt, like any title defense that she has on NXT TV, she's not going to lose. She's not going to lose that belt until a big pay-per-view. There's just no way she doesn't. And maybe she'll be the main event of NXT TakeOver. Problem with that being she has to have the right opponent, because this match with Mia Yim wasn't all that good. But regardless, we move on to the main event. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole going back and forth in this basically a 3 Stages of Hell's match, but it was pretty damn crazy. They took each other out back on multiple occasions, but we'll talk about the first fall. Regular one-on-one matchup, Adam Cole's stipulation. It was going pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like amazing. It wasn't anything we hadn't seen before between the two. Like, it was slightly different with like, I know you're going to do this move, so I'm going to counter. You know what I mean? So that was nice storytelling, to say the least. But it ended with Johnny getting himself disqualified because he couldn't wait to get his hands on Adam Cole. And notoriously, this is what Johnny normally does. Something that ends up costing him in the end. It's like basically the story of his character, I suppose. And then he has to beat Adam Cole in a street fight, and he does. Undisputed Era doesn't get involved. Londar into a chair. That match was pretty, cool. It wasn't super long, but, it was what I expected. And I think it wasn't long for this reason, because the stipulation that William Regal had chosen was a steel cage with weapons and barbed wire. Like, it was pretty crazy. They just tried to destroy each other basically in that match. Panama City Sunrise off the ladder, which wasn't really different from the normal one, but that's okay. Johnny Gargano did a freaking Panama City Sunrise. I think Adam Cole might have done a Gargano escape. I can't remember. He may have not. Oh no, Londar into a chair until the Gargano escape to make him tap. I got that wrong. That's my bad. Regardless, continuing with this. Eventually, they ended up on top of the steel cage and both went flying down from the top and practically died. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. They're supposed to go through 2 tables. They went through 1. I'm fine with them going through just 1 because it looked even more brutal. And Adam Cole pinned Johnny Gargano, and he is still your NXT champion. So who's going to challenge him next? I say it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa, but I think what they could do, since the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong lost, they could do a fatal four-way for the belt. Or they could have Velveteen Dream lose to Roderick Strong, and then he challenges Adam Cole for the championship, which would even be better, because the guy who's been on top of the mid-card, Velveteen, going against the guy who's at the top of the main card, who's moving up in the world, that'd be a good story too. They'll do one or the other. I don't think they're going to split the Undisputed Era, but that would be a really nice, cool thing to do. So I'm not going to talk about every single thing that happened on SummerSlam, because there was a lot. I'm going to talk about the main card matches. I'm not going to talk about pre-show, not all of it. Oney Lorcan versus Drew Gulak, though, was really cool. I like seeing Oney Lorcan beat the hell out of Drew Gulak, but then end up losing anyway. It was just cool. It wasn't the best, NXT, or not NXT, 205 Live match ever. But I'm enjoying Drew Gulak's title reign, and I'm still curious to see who's actually going to beat him for the championship. I still think it's going to be Humberto Carrillo. So I got that one, right? And then we opened the show with Becky Lynch versus Natalya, which was one of the matches of SummerSlam, if not the match of the night, perhaps. I don't know, in terms of how it was set up. I really feel like the crowd was mostly hot because it happened so earlier on. But then again, Becky Lynch is still over, and Natalya is in her home country, so I guess it makes sense. Regardless, they pretty much destroyed each other for the most part. I enjoyed the sharpshooter spots because every time I was like, Becky might tap. Like, she had her on the top rope, and she had her in the center of the ring and dragged her back to the middle. I was like, dude, Becky's going to tap. And I really didn't want Becky to lose. I really didn't want her to lose at all. And she didn't. Good. She ended up winning with a disarmer after countering out of the sharpshooter into the disarmer, and Natalya literally had nowhere to go. Like, she couldn't pull her because Becky Lynch was sitting on her back. So, like, how are you going to get out of that? And Becky was, like, cranking back with extra torque. That was pretty good. Next match, I think, was AJ Styles versus Ricochet. Ricochet had on, like, a Nightwing costume. That was cool. They were going at it. I liked the really cool spot where Ricochet, like, ran along the top of the heads of Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, like freaking Goombas, and then he jumped on AJ Styles. That was cool. But in the end, Ricochet couldn't do it. It was a really cool finish. Apparently, this happened with AJ Styles and Kota Ibushi. I never saw it, so I don't know. But he jumped on the top rope and did a Phoenix Splash, sort of, but got caught midway by AJ Styles, power bombed, pulled back up, Styles clash, and Styles is still your United States champion. Cool match. I enjoyed it. Not the best match, but it was still really good. Started off kind of slow. Wish it could have been better. Then we move on to Dolph Ziggler versus... Alright, I'm kind of dumb for this. I really thought Ziggler was going to beat Goldberg for a second. I mean, it's kind of over. But this actually did work out well for him. And here's why. He lost to Goldberg after hitting 2 super kicks and Goldberg kicking out at 1. Then he got speared to death. Then he got hit with the jackhammer. Loses, alright? He calls out Goldberg again. Goldberg spears him again. Leaves. He calls out Goldberg again. Goldberg spears him again. Leaves. No, he doesn't. He doesn't call him out again. But it was still really cool to see him do that. It was an interesting character moment because it made sense. Dolph's like, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. And then like everyone's like, no, you're not. He's like, I am. I'm the best. I'm the best, man. Fucking best, dude. I'm out here. I've been the best since day. Like, it's just, I think it's just funny. This could be a really cool thing. As long as he ends up winning something at some point. Doesn't have to win a world championship. Just wins out of nowhere when no one expects him to. I think people will like that a lot. Not much to talk about for this next matchup with Ember Moon and Bayley for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. It wasn't a lot of build, but it was still a solid matchup nonetheless. And I really like they were bringing out moves that we haven't seen them do before. I mean, at least 1 or 2 from both of them, which is cool. But in the end, Bayley ended up winning with a Super Bayley to the belly, and it looked really good. It looked like how it should look when Bayley does that. A judo throw, basically. And Bayley retained. And then Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon brought out Elias as I expected him to, but he only brought out Elias, surprisingly. No Drew McIntyre. No Sami Zayn coming to help Kevin. They just kind of just did their own thing, I guess, in this match. And, I mean, I'm not even saying that it was bad. It was just like, I thought they could have done something different, and it didn't. That's fine, though, I guess. Whatever. Still a good match. I mean, it was not good, not really good. It was just like, this is what I wanted, but I wanted more so Kevin Owens to freaking just destroy Shane McMahon, but he didn't. Instead, he hit him with a low blow while the ref was down and Elias was down, who was the special enforcer, and hit a stunner. Enforcer, like, what was that, dude? Anyways, he hit him with a stunner and he won. Trish Stratus and Charlotte Flair was cool. I really enjoyed how good Trish did in that matchup, surprisingly. Like, there was only reason it was surprising, calm down. Only reason it was surprising is because she hadn't been in the ring in a minute, and I was like, you know what, man? I mean, she hasn't been in there in a while. Maybe it's not going to click as well. She's going against Charlotte. Maybe this, but Charlotte made her like $1 million, so that was good. And I guess this is the end of her career, Trish. Hopefully, she faces someone else soon. But if this is it, that's okay. Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton was some bullshit. All right, listen to me. That finish was stupid. No, you don't. And come on, man. All this build up to them facing each other. I know it's leading to something. It's not leading to a blow off match. Okay, if it's leading to a Hell in a Cell match between Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton, I'm down. If it leads to anything else, I don't give a fuck. No, I'm kidding. I wanted to be. Come on, man. Why couldn't they just give us the match that we wanted? Was it really that hard just to give us a really great match and then have, I don't know, either Kofi win with a roll up or just beat Randy Orton clean? It was just a long build. It just kind of meant nothing in the end. But regardless, we got Finn Balor versus The Fiend. The Fiend with his really cool theme music. Finn Balor being Finn Balor, dressed in white. No club getting involved because it teased on the pre-show, and I'm pretty sure they weren't gonna get involved anyway. But still, it was cool. He almost beat Bray kind of quick. Not kind of quick, just like out of nowhere, he got a big comeback and he did the shotgun dropkick. It was like, oh, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna go for the coup de grace. If he hits it, Bray can't kick out. But if he does, he looks really strong. Whatever. So the Fiend actually catches him with the mandible claw and beats him like that. That's a really cool finish. Alright, I'm fine with that. I can't remember if he... Oh no, he didn't hit the Sister Abigail. He tried it and it didn't work. That's fine though. Still a really cool match. And it was awesome. But we have to move on to the main event now. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. And I thought it was going to be a one-sided just molestation. I'm sorry. Okay, he's just going to like just destroy this guy completely. He's going to hit him with an F5 from the top of a building through the ring. I don't know. I thought Brock was going to win, but I think I did choose Seth in the end just in case. And that's fine. It was a really good match. All right, it was a really good match, in my opinion. And I like that Seth kept countering when he didn't expect him to. Oh, German suplex, he gets out of it. Okay, cool. Like, we kind of expected that. But then he did it again. And he hit Brock with like 3 curb stomps. I think he hit him with 2. And then he got him with the 3rd, which was cool. Brock hit him with 2 F5s, I think. And Seth kicked out twice. It was just a really hot main event. And that's pretty much all I wanted from it. I think SummerSlam was better than NXT TakeOver. That's just my opinion. Maybe y'all thought something different. And if you did, let me know in the comments below. I'm done with this video. I'll see y'all later.